Good morning and welcome back to this week's vlog. Today we've come out to the woods. We did have fog forecast this morning, which we have got, but not so much in the valley. The fog is sitting sort of higher up, as you would expect. And we've come down today into the woods, into the valley, just to sort of see if there's any atmosphere that we can capture in the trees today. We did actually come down last night for sunset and was hoping for some nice light on the trees, but it was so busy. We just turned around and headed back. So second time lucky this morning. I've set up a first shot of this really lovely looking tree that's just growing out of the embankment. There's not probably enough fog, I think, to make the tree pop, and I've tried a shot on f4, which is the lowest that this lens will go, just to make the tree more of a subject. It's probably because the tree's growing out of the embankment and we're a lot lower than it, that I feel that it's just not quite right. But I've took a shot with the 24-70, and I may well put the 70-200 on and zoom in a bit closer just to see whether I can isolate that tree a little bit more. But what a lovely morning so far. So I've swapped out the 24-70 and gone with the 70-200 just to give me a bit more reach, and just so that I can sort of zoom in and pick out compositions in the trees. It's lovely to be out again. I just wish there was a little bit more fog, or a little bit more mist, a bit more atmosphere. What I've done is, the first image that I took of that tree was a vertical image, and with the 70-200 I've taken a landscape orientation shot, just focusing in on the way that the branches come out and the lovely green moss on that tree. It's almost quite muted tones. But we're going to head up. We came here actually a few weeks ago, again early in the morning when there was a little bit of fog around. And what I want to do today is compare the images. So a few weeks ago, I solely took the images with a 24-70. I've decided I'm going to leave the 70-200 on, head up to the spot where we were a few weeks ago and compare the images for two reasons. The 70-200 as opposed to the 24-70, and also we have a new baby. So been contemplating for a long while whether to make the move from DSLR to mirrorless, and always hung back. Absolutely love my Nikon 750s, and still do. They're superb camera. I just wanted a bit more. There's a couple of features on this camera that the 750 doesn't have, and that's what's made me sort of want to take that leap. But yeah, so it's the first outing today with the new baby. So it'll be interesting to see from both sort of sides, shooting with the 70-200 and the new body, and maybe compare those images against the previous weeks, and hopefully, albeit there was a little bit more atmosphere when we came up a few weeks ago, hopefully the images will be better today, but who knows. So we'll head up and sort of see what we can get before this fog burns off. It's about 7:30 now, so the sun's been up for 40 minutes. So it's probably not going to last too much longer. So we'll speak to you again in a bit. So we've made our way up and focused on this section of trees here. This is the spot that we came to a few weeks ago when we did have quite atmospheric conditions. A little bit disappointed this morning that we've not got that, but nevertheless we're going to make do with what we've got and try and get some nice images. But this section of trees is probably my favourite section through the woods. We've got some really twisty, gnarly trees, and in a vlog a few months ago, probably 6 months actually, at Malham Tarn, we were talking about, you know, when you watch woodland photographers, one of the things that they always talk about is the chaos in the woods, and this is chaos. So what I've done with this scene is, so we've got these two trees here that are framing it, but again I've focused past those trees and just tried to pick out a scene in and amongst all of those twisted branches. Again, you've got the real moss, green moss on the trees, that again give it that little bit of character, that little bit of feel. But yeah, it's lovely. This morning we've got some sheep on the hills. It still is a little bit foggy, misty, atmospheric over this side, but nothing up here. But never mind, I'll show you the shot in a second. And I think I'm on, so f5.6. I've put the ISO down to 64 just to try it out basically. The 750 only went down to ISO 100. I don't know how much of a difference that will make today. I'm sure in future trips out that will come in handy. And I'm on 2.5 second on the exposure. So yeah, it's the other thing that I've done actually as well is focus stacked. So I focused on the trunk and then a couple of the branches coming out. So I'll put that together just to see whether we can get some real sharpness coming through that image. So I'm just going to put some gloves on because it is a little bit cold. But this next composition that we're focusing on is a little spot that Max picked out a couple of weeks ago when we was here. And there's two trees that are entwining. So the branches of this tree on the right have twisted around the tree to the left, to the next of it. And I just think it just makes a really nice image. So I've taken a landscape image and tried to really focus in again. I think that's a bit of a theme in today's video, is focusing in, so a tighter crop, just to pick out the scenes, the intimate scenes in the branches and in the trees. So I've taken a landscape shot and then again just flipped it into portrait mode and just focused in on that branch, the tree on the left, with the branches just twisting around it. On this I'm on f6.3 and ISO 64 again, but I may go a bit tighter. I'm going to see if I can really crop right in, zoom right in and see what we can get off this shot. You can see the river sort of at the bottom passing through, and I've tried to cut that out. I do quite like a clean image without any other distractions in it. So I'm gonna take one more shot here, zoomed right tight in, and just see again whether the portrait or the landscape orientation works best. So I'm going to take this shot and then walk around to my favourite tree. So this is the tree that we came to photograph a few weeks ago. And as you can see on the trunk of the tree, it's split a little bit, which I feel gives the trunk a bit more interest. And then you've got all these twisty, gnarly branches coming off it. You've got all the woodland in the background, but just by focusing in on that tree, you're giving the tree the attention I feel that it deserves. What I'm going to try and do is a couple of different shots. As I said earlier, when we photographed it a few weeks ago, I had the 24-70 on. I've still got the 70-200 on, and I'm just going to see what different shots I can get, or if I can maybe just pick out certain aspects of the tree. I'm going to circle the tree. I'm going to go all the way around it as well, just to view the tree from, I suppose, different perspectives on the way around. Again, just looking for little intimate details with it. The shot that I've got framed up so far is a similar shot to what we took a few weeks ago, but zoomed in tighter, a tighter crop. So I'm going to take that shot. The other thing that I'm trying to concentrate on a little bit more today is my histogram. Usually what I do is I use the in-camera metering to expose for my images. I am still checking on that, but trying to focus a bit more on using the histogram. So I've got the histogram displayed, and again, the really good thing about this camera, about the Nikon Z7, is that when you look through the viewfinder, you can see a histogram, which I think is perfect. I do tend to use the live view more for when I'm taking the images, but I think using the viewfinder to pick out your compositions helps, or it helps me a little bit. I like to check the edges and make sure that there's no distractions peeping in that you might not see on the back of the screen, but when you get your images back home on the computer, you know, a little bit of a branch or a stump of a tree poking in your shot, that then, you know, you're either cropping in to get rid of it or trying to clone it out, which is more work. So yeah, I'll stop waffling and circle the tree and we'll see what we get. It's Easter Sunday as well, so we are a bit late putting our video out, or should I say, we're going to change the day that we're going to put our video out. So ordinarily we'd put the video out 9:30 on a Sunday morning. We're going to experiment and put it out on a Tuesday. And the reason being is to try and give us a little bit more time over the weekend to get out, to take some shots, to edit the images and put the video together and get it uploaded. So by doing that maybe on a Tuesday gives us the weekend when we're at work to still get out and share our little adventures, our little trips with you. Better crack on. In the viewfinder as well, again on the Z7, it's an EVF, so when you change your settings you can actually see what the image is going to look like, which again I just think is an absolutely fantastic feature on the camera to have. The 750's got an optical viewfinder, so when you look through it just looks like you're looking with your eye, but with the EVF, as you change your settings you can see what the image is going to look like before you press a shutter. You can also use focus peaking through your live view and through your viewfinder as well. I think focus peaking for me probably would come in maybe when we're in Scotland when it's quite low light. I quite often found that the 750 struggled to pick up mountains, you know, when I'm trying to focus on the mountain, and then the worry is it sharp? So again, really looking forward to using that in 4 weeks and 4 days when we go to Scotland. So I'm gonna take this shot and, like I say, maybe in post when I get back and have a look at it, whether we include the sky or we take it out, I'm not sure. I think, again, I know I'm going on about this camera, but up to now I do, I love it, and this is the first time that we've been out. I think it's a 45 megapixel camera, so even though you crop in, you still have that quality. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to really getting to grips with it, and really getting out and using it. That's the thing, I suppose, about outdoor photography, is using your camera, practicing and honing your skills. And what better place, I suppose, than 10 minutes down the road on a Sunday morning, just me and our bud. So we're probably halfway around the tree now, but just wanted to show you this gap in the trunk. I just think it just is so unique to this tree. There's not any other tree in this woodland like this one. I just took a minute, as I say, just to show you the tree, but I'm going to have to change my lens. So I've still got the 70-200 on currently, but in order to get the tree in from this side, I would need to put the 24-70 on. I'm debating because, no, I will do. I'm going to put the 24-70 on and see what I can get from this side. I was going to say I'm debating because I know that the image that we took previously from this side I wasn't entirely happy with. But again, I think just to compare the cameras, the lenses, I will do, just out of curiosity. There's a couple of nice looking trees over on this side as well, which I might try and get a shot of. The only thing that is bothering me is on its own, just growing in the middle of this scene, that's distracting from this really nice scene, and it's covering the lower third of the branch. I don't know whether that's me being picky or not, but I might take the shot and see. But from here, it is a really nice scene. The other thing is these new trees, I suppose, that are just coming up here, they're going to be in the foreground as well. So I think we've talked a lot about focusing in, and for me, that's one of the reasons why I try and get past, so that there's no distractions. But yeah, we'll change the lenses out and see what we get by doing that. So the other thing that's really good with this setup is you get an FTZ mount adapter, which you can put onto the body, meaning that you can use your other lenses. So Nikon have brought out a range of Z lenses to go with the Z cameras. So there's a Z6 and a Z7. But by using this, you can use all of your other lenses as well, which is great. So your F-mount lenses. So the 70-200 that I use is a Sigma lens, which is great because you can just sort of put this on and have the ability to use any other lens that's an F-mount with this setup. So I've put the 24-70 back on. And I suppose for anybody that's wondering about weight, I suppose, it is a lot lighter, a lot lighter. I probably don't notice that much difference in my bag because of the 70 to 200 and all my filters, which I don't know why I brought my filters with me today really, because I'm not going to be using them. But in terms of in your hand, it's really light and wouldn't be any difficulty at all sort of carrying that round with you, either on your bag or you know, if you put the strap onto it. But yeah, just fits really nice in your hand as well. I love it. There's one last shot that I'm going to take, which does include that annoying little bush, but I'm going to take it and see how it looks anyway. So second to last shot of the day. It does look like there is going to be bluebells growing in this area, so I'm trying to be really careful where I stand. But can't wait to come back again with, if this does open up with bluebells, with these sorts of trees that we've got, it'll just be an absolute treat into next month. So I suppose, you know, when you come to a location and you keep revisiting it throughout the year, you see how the seasons change. And bluebells is fantastic because you get that lovely carpet of colour. So I am quite excited about that, hopefully, if these do open up. So I'll take the second to last shot. I'll maybe talk you through what I'm doing with this other shot, this other scene, and then we'll call it a day. So the first outing with the Nikon Z7. Quite excited to get back and have a look at the images. Hopefully I'm going to notice a difference, but so far I've found the camera quite enjoyable to use. Not that I didn't with the 750, but just using a couple of those different features on this today has been fantastic, and it's going to be a main feature in the bag moving forward. So we'll say thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Adios! So we've come out today in the hope of capturing some wood, fog. Capturing some wood.